today's show. Oh, Lord, it's good to be back. Welcome to The Voice of One Wheel is back and ready to go. We took a week off last week. We had Kyle Taylor the week before pre-recorded, so we haven't gone live in 2 weeks straight. Social Media Lounge, I absolutely adore you. I miss you. Belly will be back tomorrow. He says hello from Comic-Con in San Diego to all of you wonderful, beautiful people out there. But strap it on, folks, because we've got a feel-good, pay-it-forward story coming from Caleb Catron, who joins us right now from the West Coast. It's all coming up next, folks, right here on The Voice of One Wheel.
Loose Dog in the morning.
Welcome back, folks. I'm so excited. Hi, everybody. Caleb Catron joins the show. How are you, bud? What's up, Caleb?
Hey, man, how's it going? I'm good.
We are what? Dude, we are so glad to rock this one with you. He's got an awesome story. I've got stories at the wazoo from Denver and LA. Quick shout out to the crew out there in Denver. My goodness, it was fun riding with all you guys. Jonathan Stock, shout out for housing me, letting me into his home. I got to see the way that dude lives, which is real. I mean, dude, they're in Denver. It's beautiful out there. Justin Duncan had a blast with you guys. Austin Buck, all you guys out there. Travis Steck even made the drive down from like Steamboat or wherever the hell he was. It was like a 2.5-hour drive. Came all the way down to meet us at Ruby Hill, which we got to rock. And thank you, of course, to Terry Peter, otherwise known as Copy, for that recommendation. Let's get to the show, Caleb. How much have you been riding lately? You're in the full swing of summer. Are you getting a whole bunch of riding in, or are you taking a break? What are we feeling?
I never get a whole bunch of riding in because I have dogs.
Yep. Don't you walk the dogs with the one wheel?
Dude, you can't do no with a canine, man. You'll die, especially old crippled up me, dude.
Well, tell the people what you mean, old crippled up you. You have an amazing sense of humor, but you don't have.
Probably not everyone knows. So, 2006. You want me to start over again?
No, because we're live. There is no starting over. It's just a flat out. I want people to have context. The dude is paralyzed from his knees down, and he rides one wheels better than a half of us do. And I'm blown away. So can you at least tell us, just for the people who don't know, how did you get into that situation? How did you get into the one wheel?
Well, I'll go all the way back. In 2001, before the war started, I joined the Army because I was broke. And the war kicked off when I was in the Army. We all got to go do our little vacations overseas, and it left all of us with scars and what have you. And one of my issues was I've become addicted to adrenaline, to a self detrimental level, I guess.
I mean, you get used to the risk, I would imagine. Well, is it safe to say that once you're so used to that risk, does life, I don't know, I've never been in that situation, does life become boring when you come back to regular everyday life?
It is, dude. It is. Like it's like what my dad. My dad's an old Vietnam vet, and I'm in his house right now. Like I'm back in Washington State. I'm in my home house that I grew up in. This is the very same computer desk I wrote my first email at.
Wow.
But my dad's an old Vietnam vet, and the one thing he told me, other than one story I won't share with you guys about Vietnam, was he said, "Don't do what I did when you come home." And I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "Every drug on the planet."
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh.
It's
funny. That's funny. In a way, that's funny, but in a way, that's actually really sad. So, I mean, what?
Yeah. And I asked him why, and he said, "You'll never replace that feeling of a firefight, so don't try."
Wow. And I would imagine the firefight, not to get off of one wheels, but just because this is a fascinating conversation, I would imagine that that's something that you didn't go into wanting to do until, it's not like you're like, you wake up in the morning saying, I can't wait to be in a firefight, but then to be addicted to that adrenaline, that's a fascinating dichotomy to me.
Well, yeah, you run around the country begging people to shoot at you.
God, that's crazy.
I was there in 2004. It was the Wild West then, man. We didn't have rules. We had soft skins. We had you know, we were just chilling. We were a bunch of kids. We didn't know any better. You know, we're all, you know, I'm in my mid 30s. I'm looking at 40 is my next milestone.
Me too.
I was an old man in Iraq. I was 21 or 22. Well, everyone else was kids, you know, and we ran around willy-nilly in 04, dude. No rules, no regulations. If you ever grew up wanting to be a cowboy when you were little and you ran around wanting to be a cowboy and play Army, well, I got to. I got to be a cowboy. I got to live in the Wild West for a year, and it was fun. And so when I came home, I was lost. And I was lost for a lot of years, and in a detrimental way. I mean, bad way. Memorial Day weekend has been bad for me. I had, you know, I can get into why canines are so important to me. The broad strokes is a bomb dog saved my life on my front porch one Memorial Day weekend. And it was a dog I adopted from the Department of Defense.
And it saved your life?
Yeah, he kept me from shooting myself. One Memorial Day weekend. So that was in 2010.
Caleb, I don't mean to dive too deep into something that's that personal, but how I'm sure there are people wondering, and if it's too much, please let me know. But how does a dog save you from that?
This dog was my old partner's block dog, and a block dog is a dog that is at the facility to help handlers learn how to be a canine handler.
Okay.
So they're just another training tool. And this dog was ready for retirement. He needed a home. So my buddy John called me from Texas and said, "Hey, do you have a dog?" I said, "No." He said, "Do you want one?" I said, "Well, not really." And he goes, I said, "Why, John?" And he said, "Well, I have a German Shepherd that was my bomb dog, Follis. He needs a home." And I said, what's the deal?" Well, he's a dual purpose dog. He's a bite dog, bomb dog, so he has to go to former or current law enforcement. And I said, "Well, or what?" And he said, "Or they put him down." I said, "Okay, I'll take him."
Man.
So it's that simple. I said, "I'll take him." He said, "Okay." He goes, "They'll call you in a day or two." Well, they called me the next day and they said, "Be in San Antonio and Lackland Air Base on Wednesday." And this was Monday.
How far away is San Antonio from you at that point?
It's like 37 hours.
Oh my God. What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I jumped in my car. This was at 10 a.m. on a Monday morning. I jumped in my mom's car because all I had was trucks, because that's what rednecks have, right? I'm not driving 16 miles a gallon for freaking 40 hours each way. And I drove straight down to Lackland. I met this dog. I snagged him, and I drove straight home in 80 hours. I didn't turn around Lackland Air Base and back.
Has anybody, hold on. Has anybody ever done that? I mean, social media lunch. Have you ever driven 37 hours just to turn around? I mean, I've already got people saying that this is amazing, and I agree. I can't, like, the level of commitment that you put forward for that dog. That's fascinating, man. I don't mean to jump in the middle there, but the fact that it was able to then give it back to you this is a Disney story waiting to happen. So how did it help you then that day on your porch?
He was the most ineffectual dog on the planet.
Right.
He could care less. You know, he was cool. He wanted to be 15 feet away all the time. He never wanted to be near you, which was fine. I'm like, whatever, dude, you're retired. You go do you. I'll be in the house. You know, I don't care, dude. You want to be in the house? The door's open. Come on in.
Yeah.
I let him do whatever he wanted except for play on the road. You know what I mean? And one day I'm sitting on my front porch, and it's a Saturday morning. I live at the time I lived in a big, beautiful house that I owned, that I had earned on my own. You know, I had things going for me. I have a career, a 6-figure job. I got a take-home truck. I mean, happy, but not happy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So gist of it is, this dog has no affection. And I'm sitting there and I'm having a tough morning. And about the time I'm deciding, okay, I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. That dog's, I'll never forget it. He walks around the corner of the shop, and I look up and I see him. I'm like, oh, hey, Follis, and I don't think much of it. And he walks right up to me, and he climbs up in my lap and puts his head right on my shoulder, right here, and puts his nose right here, just like that, and just sat there. And I had him like a year at this point, and he'd never done this. And at that point, I thought, there's more for me, so let's stick around. And so I've always been drawn to dogs. I was, believe it or not, at this very house raised with wolves. So yes, I know it sounds weird.
No, I love it.
I could have my dad dig out pictures of like me wrestling like full wolves. And
you're
and
not
shit
kidding. You're talking about
years.
actual wolves.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, honest to
amazing.
God.
I'm responding to this story so well. I'm connecting to it because I had my childhood dog. I don't know if you guys ever hear it jingling. I'm not wearing it today, but I always wear my childhood dog tags on my neck because he was the same way. Caleb, he was so unaffectionate. But if I was ever, I have to say I wasn't at that point. But to see, you know, if I was ever really upset, like that dog was always just, they know, man, and they would just come and sit right next to me, and just to see another example of that, it's heartwarming, to be honest with you. And I'm sure everybody really just thank you for your honesty there, because I'm sure there are people who relate, you know.
That's the thing, like, that's the thing, like, just because you have a tough time in life, or you're in a weak moment, whatever it is, dude. You know, at one point in my life, I thought I was the baddest motherfucker that walked the planet.
Right.
You know, and in my head, I was, because it's just bred into you.
You almost have to be in that mentality when your life is at stake.
We were kicking doors and we were throwing people out windows, and first story, windows, not second story. That's abuse.
Okay, good to hear.
But I mean, we were lawless. It was fun, and then you come back to this real world, and it's.
So you start parachuting, and I don't mean to move the story, but I know that's how you kind of filled that void, right? And before we go anywhere, because I know, believe me, I know this is a show about One Wheels, folks. There's no way I'm going to stop that story. That was extremely just heartwarming, and I appreciate Caleb's willingness to tell that. The truth is that there are a lot of people out there with these voids, and I think a One Wheel can fill that. And I'm just really grateful to hear that you found something that was able to do it. So parachuting wise, I mean, that's something that a lot of people go do, and I mean, I know it's dangerous, but that's fairly safe, no?
It is. It's very safe. If you follow the laws and the rules that are given to you above the skydivers above you, of your safety officers and that, it's perfectly safe. You're 60 times more likely to get hurt in a car accident or killed in a car accident driving to go skydive than you are skydiving. That's an actual fact. Now, the way I was skydiving is not the safe way to do it.
Well, tell us how. What were you doing?
I was swooping, and there's folks out there. Jeremy Tyler's one of them. That's a skydiver. They know what it is. At 200 jumps, I was doing 90s on a Stiletto 150, which is a full elliptical canopy.
I need you to back that up. Just back up the train and just talk to me like I'm a 10-year-old. I have no idea what you're talking about. What's swooping? What are you talking about?
So as you progress in your skydiving career, you're allowed more freedoms and more training within your skydiving circle. These are regulated. These are rules. You fall under the FAA. You have a license. Sure. It's an FAA license. So you fall under these rules and regulations that you have to follow, or they will ground you, take your license.
Oh wow!
As you start getting more jumps, you get more freedom. It's earned. With more freedom comes the chance to hurt yourself more.
And isn't it just real quick to relate this to One Wheels? As you get more comfortable, as you get this level of, just comfort and that feeling that the One Wheel's going to read your mind, that's when you start opening up yourself to getting hurt a little bit more, because now you're pushing the board. And we're going to get to weekly challenges. I've created a group for you guys that I figured out the best way to do this is Facebook groups. I made a group called the Weekly One Wheel Challenge. So go ahead and search that group. I've already put out a challenge. Chris Richardson was kind enough to send me the first challenge. We did one a couple weeks ago on the show. I showed you that quad run where I wanted you to do 180s all four ways. But Chris took another level to that. I'll play it on the show today, but it's also on the new group called Weekly One Wheel Challenges. Just check that out on Facebook and feel free to join yourself or add yourself. It's a public group, and I just want you to post the videos of yourself trying out these challenges that we're going to post each week. Chris Richardson was nice enough to send the first one. It's up there already. Just go search for the group, Weekly One Wheel Challenges. Now, what is swooping as you get so much more comfortable, Caleb? You're getting into your jumps. What in the world is swooping?
Swooping is a high-performance landing.
Okay.
Swooping is inducing speed low to the ground and transferring that speed to direction transfer at the ground. So going from down, so you're diving your canopy in a downward motion like this. Sure. As you get close to the ground, you level your canopy out. So when you cross the ground at ground level, you're doing 70, 80, 90 miles an hour dragging your toes across the ground
Oh my
for
God.
50, 60, 100 yards.
And then running it out? Are you running it out? Are you?
Well, a lot of times you can, I mean, as you're riding your rears and your brakes, so you can ride it out and slow yourself down and just walk it out. You just ride your momentum out.
So it's really the feeling of going that fast, that close to the ground. Is that why you're doing it?
Oh, and you're winking at girls and throwing up guns. I mean, it's the cool guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, at the end of the day, you swoop in. There's a guy holding a beer, and you swoop right through and grab the beer. It's already
Bart
open,
Miller.
and you're chugging it.
It's Bart Miller, man.
It's kind of the end all be all.
Oh, it's funny. That's funny. Okay,
and
so but now what's not funny is that I guess you took it too steep one day, and what happened?
Yeah, September 26th of 16, I skipped work. I called in sick. I'd been jumping all weekend. I got like 12 jumps in that weekend, and 200 was coming. My jump 200, and that was Monday. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm skipping work. I'm gonna go jump. I'm gonna go jump all day. I'm gonna get past this. Gonna get my C license, dude. We're gonna crush this out. I'm gonna start flying camera. That was my goal. I was gonna start flying camera. I was gonna start skydiving full time and quit my job.
And be like a cameraman for other people?
Just be a fucking hippie, dude. I don't know.
That's
just
awesome.
be the worst redneck hippie ever.
Nah, good for you. I feel it. All right, so what happened?
I fucked up. I don't know. What do you want from me? I hit the ground hard.
Was it a technical error? Was it that wind came out of nowhere? Did something just come?
100% on me, dude. I screwed up. You get a little deal in your helmet, and we call them a ditter, and it reads your altitude and speed, and it beeps at certain altitudes I set it at. And when it beeped for me to start my 90, which is 275 feet above ground level, AGL, it beeped, and I remember there was someone right in front of me in traffic, so I had to wait a couple seconds.
Oh wow!
And the whole time I'm still on my front risers, and I'm only focusing on I got to swoop instead of I need to do this safe. And what I should have done is canceled that swoop and just landed normal and went about my day. What I did do is I forced it, and I forced it when I shouldn't have forced it. And when I realized I made a mistake and I started my 90 too low, I made another mistake, and I didn't bail out of it. I stayed on my rear risers instead of stabbing my brakes and stalling my canopy and falling straight down from 20, 30 feet instead of launching myself in the ground at 70 miles an hour.
That's got to be an intense feeling. What's going through your mind at that moment?
At about 50 feet, I actually said, you can hear it on my GoPro, oh God, I hope I live.
Oh my God.
So,
Caleb.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise, man.
So,
you're freaking me out. No, hold on. I need a break. I need a breath. I think the Social Media Lounge does too. This has been incredibly enlightening, excuse me. And I'm just so glad to have you on the show, man. We're going to take this into the actual crash, how you found the one wheel, and then this amazing story. We haven't even gotten to the feel-good story yet. And I'm already like 10 tiers down. So this is fantastic. Caleb, thank you so much for your time, dude. For all of you out there in the Social Media Lounge, we love you guys. We'll be back after this on The Voice of One Wheel.
Twist on fast casual dining by starting with only the freshest ingredients to slow cook delicious melodies of tastes and colors that are sure to delight your senses. Whether you're craving the Chipotle pulled pork sliders, honey basil chicken tacos, or the infamous kitchen sink wrap, Marinate has something for everybody with tons of vegetarian options too. It's the perfect choice of catering for your offices or events with fast and friendly service from a brand new store on Melrose and Western. Stop by today, or you can order online at marinateyourlife.com.
Yay for Taco Tuesday! Don't forget, buy one, get one free. All damn day!
Tacos, wraps, sliders, and sides. Slow cooked to perfection at Marinate Restaurant. marinateyourlife.com.
What's up, y'all? It's Maddie Mads here. This show is sponsored by TTR Studios. Whether it's weddings, parties, karaoke, audio, video production, and all your entertainment needs, call TTR Studios, LLC at 703-850-2223 or check them out at ttrevents.com. Start the show, Looch.
All the way from the East Coast. He has waited literally over a year for this. I think I'm probably more nervous than he is. Oh, yeah.
It's kind of quiet, isn't it?
Oh, it's good. All right. Can I get, this is Belly from Luke's Dog in the Morning, and I just marinated my life.
This is Belly from Luke's Dog in the Morning, and I have 2 burritos. So, go me.
That's the hot mess right
Welcome back, folks. It's your boy Luch hanging out with you on the Voice of One Wheel. God bless America. Thank you guys for being back with us. I know you take your time out of each week to set this up on Tuesdays. Wake up. Some of you get up early just to join us on the show, which is absolutely fantastic. I couldn't thank you enough, guys. I missed you while I was away. I love the texts that I got on Tuesday at about 11:05. What's happening? Where's the show? Where's the show? Your guys' commitment, it just drives me and it tickles me in the best way. So thank you. I'll see you guys at Float Life Fest this year. I'll be there on Thursday, sponsoring the opening race, and then, of course, DJing opening night at 11 o'clock. So I'm excited for that. People are starting to get their reservations, man. Tickets are selling. I don't know if there's actual tickets for Float Life Fest, but I know that housing is selling out pretty quick up there. So make sure you guys get your plans all figured out. Caleb, will you be there at Float Life Fest this year?
Dude, I'm going to try. The problem is I got hurt September 16. October starts hunting season. So it's been 2 years since I've got to hunt in Washington State.
Okay.
Now, I don't really care to hunt Washington State because the state sucks. But
sorry, Washington.
It does. The game management's garbage here.
It's beautiful. It's got beautiful scenery. What are you talking about?
Fucking government, dude.
I love you, man. All right, listen. So that's fine. If you're doing that, I'm not a huge hunter, but I mean, if you hunt, that's your thing, and if that's something that you want to do, we'll miss you there. But can you tell us? Look, dude, we were right in the middle of it. You're coming down to the ground. You came in too hot. I guess the moral of the story is, are you paralyzed from the knees down? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
From the knees down.
So I hit the ground, and I knew right away I kind of screwed up because my body was vibrating. Well, actually, when my shoe came off and went by, which was just doing 197 miles an hour because we were doing some sit flying. So I was doing 197 according to my AAD. And then when I hit the ground, my shoe came off. So, which is common in situations like that. Yeah, I've heard that. So the G-force of hitting the ground was severe, apparently. But so I hit the ground. I knew I was screwed up. I couldn't move. I could move my arms, and I remember just waving for help. But I knew, my guys were right behind me. I was the first one down because I was the fastest, because I was the idiot on the fully elliptical canopy. And they got to me, and I said, "Hey, call 911. I said I broke my back. I'm bleeding internally. I'm A positive, and I'm 34 years old, and I'm allergic to sulfa. You need to tell them that on the radio." Allergic to what? Sulfa. It's my medical allergy. I thought you said soul food, and I'm like, if he's making jokes while he's got a broken back on the floor, and he's saying he's allergic to soul food, I mean, I don't even know what to do with that. Oh no, yeah, I get to jokes. I still do some joking. Oh, your sense of humor is the only reason that I mean, it's just it's unbelievable, dude, and that's why I love how open you are to talking about this. So if the fact is that you are, I mean, thank God you're okay. Can you take us through what it was like to learn a one wheel without being able to move? I mean, you can't control your feet. How do you ride a one wheel? I don't understand. Well, I had a compound spinal fracture at the sacrum, open book pelvic fracture 2 times. I've had 5 pelvic surgeries, 3 back surgeries, 2 broken legs, and I got a bunch of internal injuries as well that they've got devices and stuff, pacemakers and whatnot to control. Oh, wow. So that's why I can't work anymore, is I have internal injury organs from the bones shooting around and cutting everything, and then and then paralysis, like my bladder's paralyzed, for instance. Wow. Like I can kind of feel it when I have to pee, but I kind of don't. And then it's like a light switch. It turns on. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Oh wow, okay. Which you manage. I mean, all of this stuff, you just keep such a positive mindset. Which I mean, it's inspiring. Which I mean, honestly, dude, you're here, you're living your life, and we're glad. You can
dead. There's a lot more to life.
Exactly.
Like, you can sit on the street and shove a needle in your arm for the rest of your life and feel sorry for yourself, or you can quit being a pussy, pick yourself up, fucking atone for your own goddamn mistakes, and move forward in life and make the world a better place. You can do one or two paths. You can be a bitch about it, or you can fucking grab yourself by the bootstraps, pick yourself up, get that fighter spirit, that warrior spirit, and fucking charge forward and quit being a bitch about life.
Well, what if somebody doesn't have that seems to me like a very military attitude, which I can respect, and that's almost like a sports attitude. I know that kind of felt like my coach talking to me right there. But Caleb, what about somebody who hasn't been in that mindset? They don't know they have the fighter in them. Is there a way that you could say it that maybe wouldn't scare them away from feeling like a bitch, but maybe like what if they've never felt that before? How do you tune into the get over it phase?
The get over it phase, it's simple. Look at yourself. Look at everything that you've been blessed with. Even if you have nothing of you possess nothing of value. Look at what's around you. If you like living in the city, say you like New York, like that's been your dream. You may have nothing. You may have a shitty studio apartment in New York or whatever. I don't know. That place sucks. I've never been there. But your goal, your whole lifelong goal was to get to New York. Like, I want to go do this New York thing. I want to sit in a Starbucks coffee shop and stare at my computer. I don't know what people do in the city. And then they get there and then they're unhappy. But their whole dream was to be there. They don't realize they've lived they're in their dream.
You're there.
Now live your dream.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You need to take what's around you and be truly thankful for what you have around you. It doesn't have to be anything physical. It doesn't have to be an emotional connection with somebody. For me, it started off just being in the woods. And then it turned into these other things. Like you find your path. And then you find something that you're passionate about. And the two things I'm really, really passionate, or the three things I'm really passionate about, it's dumb as it sounds, is that stupid board, that stupid one wheel. It really, I mean, it is. I love that thing. I'm thinking about it. Like, I wish I was playing on it right now.
I know. I mean, I'm having a blast with you, but I'm already thinking about what I'm going to ride.
Yeah,
today.
I'm going to go ride. But I rode my horse to the store. It's not like I can ride my one wheel down a horse trail,
Right.
Like, I'm in a little bitty town where we ride horses around. So,
that's so cool.
Where
are you? What state are you in?
Washington State. So I'm in a little town called.
Oh, so you're talking shit about your own state. All right, that's fair. You can do that.
Yeah, I grew up here. Yeah,
okay, that's all right. I thought you were just taking out Washington like it was your job, and it's like, whoa.
No, I pick on all. It is my job. I'm a taxpayer. Damn right, it's my job.
Perfectly said. So you found the one wheel. How did you? Well, actually, before you do that, you're passionate about three things: the one wheel and what else?
One wheel, dogs, canines, pointy-eared dogs. I don't like other dogs. I'm a dog snob. I'm sorry, guys. I'll help every single person with your dog. I honest to God will. Don't bring me your little yapping dogs. I'll punt them. I fucking hate them.
Come on, my little Jack Russell Taylor, my little JRT.
Dude, I hate him. I'm a jerk, dude. I know I'm a jerk. I know.
Nah.
I can't do it, dude. I'll punt them. My dad's got a little schnauzer, and I hate it.
Get out of here.
But I love him. You know what I mean? Like, I love him.
Yeah, for sure. It's like
I don't like working with little dogs.
Sure.
I like working with big, pointy-eared dogs.
And what's the third thing that you're passionate about?
The focus. And the other thing I'm passionate about is hot rods, man. One wheels, dogs, and hot rods.
Hot rods.
That's it. I spent my evening, I've been home less than 24 hours. We had 5 guys here. I sold a Mopar 440. I moved 3 rigs around, and we did burnouts for 2.5 hours out in front of my dad's house while testing and tuning.
Amazing. And that's your day.
That was my day yesterday. I played with cars all day. I didn't even look at my one wheel, and I had a good time. But it's because of where I'm at is the one wheel. The reason I like the one wheel so much is the travel factor of it. Is when I'm traveling, it's my escape. I don't need that scooter that we're going to get into later. I don't need that. And the reason I don't need that anymore is because I have a one wheel now.
I mean, I would imagine that it would help, and see, it sounds like you live kind of in like a country setting, right?
You could say that.
Yeah. Not necessarily like a city, like streets everywhere.
No, dude. No, it's we're country. We don't have a light.
Okay. So in that stance,
we got sidewalks by a state grant like 10 years ago.
Yes. Big time. Moving up Washington.
It's like 100 yards of sidewalk.
So in that instance, I could imagine, and I'm not trying to take out Boosted Boards or Leaf Techs or anybody else. I'm just saying that this is where a one wheel shines, because he's not. I'm sure you're riding on dirt roads and gravel roads and things that you couldn't take an electric skateboard without one massive wheel, right?
I'm an hour. I'm an hour and a half from Mount Hood. I'm an hour from White Pass. I'm an hour and a half from Snoqualmie Pass, Stevens Pass. I mean, this is snowboard mecca up here, dude. We got Baker, Bachelor.
You're not far from Whistler, right? Up in Vancouver?
Right, dude. That's a weekend trip. Yeah. So I grew up in the foothills. Like when Mount St. Helens erupted, this house was covered in ash.
Oh my goodness.
We're in the foothills.
Do you have pictures?
Like, my dad does somewhere.
You got to send me those. We got to show the people that at some point. Not now, but I mean that sounds incredible.
I'll dig up some of the wolf pictures too for you.
Oh, if you have one of you wrestling a wolf, I mean, you're already solidified as group badass, but I think that would just put it right there in stone. So how did you find the one wheel, man? And for me, it was a Facebook message or one of those Facebook ads, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. How did you find it?
I remember I saw it somewhere. I don't know if it was on the internet or on the TV or what, but it was a Kickstarter then.
Oh, okay. All the way back. Okay.
I thought that is because I used to have one of them boards. I don't know what it's called, but it had fucking skateboard wheels on it, and it was a long board. It was like in early 2000s, and you rode them downhill, and it kind of acted like a snowboard, and it kind of just wrecked you a lot.
But it wasn't electric?
No, it would be electric. It was like 01, 02. Like,
okay.
Dude, I didn't even have a cell phone.
Yeah,
bro.
dude, I gotta hit me on my pager, dude.
Yeah, pager. We were getting power lines put in our road, dude.
We just got sidewalks.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, you find the one wheel, but
I find the one wheel, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It's a Kickstarter, and I forgot about it. And I'm laying in my very expensive that I got to rent, of course, hospital bed in my house in the winter that I got hurt, winter of 16, 17, that winter. And I was cruising Facebook, and I saw that stupid ad again, or that ad, in the same place, same stupid ad you saw. And I'm like, this guy's made it.
Yeah.
I'll be goddamn, you know. So I started looking into it, and I thought, I wonder if I can ride one of those. Because I always wanted one. I thought, I wonder if I can ride one. Then I realized, yes, they're expensive, but it was like $1,500. I'm going to take the gamble.
Dude, I mean, it's the price of one snowboarding trip to Colorado. I mean, for me from the East Coast, I'm going to spend at least $1,500 on flight, hotel, lift tickets. I mean, you're telling me for one weekend's trip, I can snowboard now pretty much every day. And oh, by the way, when it's nice outside. Like, no-brainer, guys. It's a no-brainer. My friends are like, all right, you make a good point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the amount of freedom that stupid piece of aluminum with a go-kart tire gives you. It blows your mind. I mean, yeah, they break all the time, and they nosedive if you're a fucking retard.
Okay.
And dude, I'm not politically correct.
I taught special ed, so that word has a little bit of a
you know what?
But
You're
it's
right.
fine.
That's my fault. I should
teach their own. I try not to get like, you know,
Okay.
I know a lot of kids that
Let me rephrase that. If you refuse to learn,
fair enough.
Correct. How about that?
That's fair.
And that is a form of being slow. And if it was a distributor in a car, you would be retarding that distributor.
Or in music, to retard is to slow down. I totally get. I understand that. You're not ripping on kids. I know that. But
I didn't mean that in a derogatory manner.
Of course not. I know some people.
Anyway.
I know. Anyway. So what I'm saying is, or what you're saying is, yeah, they break, and yeah, if you ride it wrong, or maybe even if there is a technical electrical failure, which I'm sure at 1 out of 1,000 boards you might experience. I haven't yet. I still don't believe anybody. I mean, the XRs were bricking, but it wasn't like you were riding them and all of a sudden, boom, nose. It was like you fall, it tumbles, and now it won't turn back on.
Right. And that's why I have an XR.
Right. Did you haven't gotten one yet?
Yeah, my board tumbles hundreds of times a day.
Yeah. Well, after the firmware update, it's fine. I think, I don't know, ask Kyle Taylor, because he's bricked like 2 XRs, I feel like, and I feel bad for the kid. I worry about doing like huge jumps now at this point because I want to keep my board. My one wheel plus is starting to act up. My ferret ring, if I pick up my board and just hold it like I'm about to carry it, and I shake it, I can hear the ferret ring. So if anybody's listening and can help me out with what's about to how to fix this, I know that there is a ferret ring fix, and Rosenzweig does all this, Sunny Wheels, all those guys. Caleb, you got something?
Yeah, fix it, dude.
Well, so there's that. I agree. There's that, but it also, I can feel as if you can feel my wheel kind of, something is shaking in place other than the ferret ring as well.
That's your bearing. So
my bearing, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, your wheel sits on a set of the cheapest bearings they can possibly buy. Oh. Just like anything else you've ever purchased, it's got the cheapest shit in it you can possibly buy.
Okay.
So you're getting garbage bearings that probably weren't packed in the first place. And now we're running through sand and dirt and this and that and spraying them off, but you shouldn't spray your board off. I don't care what anyone says.
You should or shouldn't?
You should not. It's electric.
Yeah, I don't. Nope.
I mean,
air spray, if anything.
Folks, don't ride in water. Read the manual. Don't spray your board off with your garden hose.
Right.
Like, come on, guys.
Right.
But anyway, we're getting off on a tangent.
Well, no, because people see that it's waterproof and they do like all kinds of ads smashing, they smash a champagne bottle against it. And it's like, well, it's not waterproof. It's water resistant. And,
they also smash champagne bottles against boats, but you don't see boats riding through buckets of champagne bottles, do you?
Do I have my touchdown? I don't have my button. I need pots.
I mean, common sense, guys. But
yeah. So so you're talking about it's on the bearing. Is that what I need to fix?
Your bearings could be going bad. It's hard to say. You might have to get your board out and rattle it. But your ferret ring's easy, dude. You pull your pad. You need like 3 tools and about 6 ounces of technical knowledge.
Yeah, I saw Rosenzweig do it. It's not that technical. Yeah. I just wonder what the other thing is. And it sounds like basically when I do a deep heel carve and I ride regular, so if I'm carving hard to the left, hard on my heels, I feel like a rubbing feeling.
That's your bearings, dude. That's bearings. Okay. That's bearings.
Okay. All right.
You need to get with Sonny and get those TMKs I think he just put them in, didn't he, on one of his boards?
Sonny is the mad scientist. That whole group of scientists that exists, and I know I'm not a part of it. I don't ask to be a part of it because I know they probably see me as like, well, let's not let him in on all the secrets. But which I get. I'm like the media, I guess. But
there's some guys up your way that have done it. The part numbers are out there, guys. It's not hard to change bearings.
But is that going to avoid the warranty? I mean, I'm over 1,000 miles anyway, so I don't really care.
Dude, I had my controller open with 7 miles on it.
I really respect that attitude. I really do. Social Media Lounge. I haven't talked to you much today because it's just me here flying solo. But would you be willing to do that? I mean, I hear people saying, I hope they fix this problem. My XR is on the way. Rebecca, it's going to be fine. Don't even worry about it. You're going to be just great. I slammed my board hard. It's still kicking. I mean, I don't do 3-foot drops like Ryan Hayford, but I'm also 6 feet tall and 220, says Copy. I don't baby my board in the least bit. I kick it and roll it around for sure. And Copy, me too. I appreciate the input, you guys. You're doing great. And I miss you. Social Media Lounge is just so glad. I'm so glad to have you back. So Caleb, I guess what I would like to do here is I am coming up on the back half of the show. You got into the one wheel. You learned how to ride it. Just can I get like 2-3 minutes on the process of learning how to ride? I mean, how did you have somebody you had to have some assistance to start, I would imagine.
Yeah. So what I did is I woke up one morning. I was in Daytona Beach, or I was in Ocala, Florida, November last year, and I woke up and I looked at that ad on the Facebook, and it's like 6 in the morning, and I'm bored to tears, and I've got no direction in life, and I hadn't gotten into the actual canine work yet, or the nonprofit that I'm a part of, and I saw this stupid ad. So they had one for sale in Daytona Beach. So I grabbed my wife and we jumped in the truck and ran to Daytona Beach.
It's got to be less than 37 hours.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half. Yes. It was no thing. Ain't no thing, girl.
Right.
And in the store there, I was like, "Do you guys have a demo? I've never actually seen one." He goes, "Yeah, here, ride this one." And I was holding on to the guy, and I fell down. As soon as I got on the board, I fell down. And hard, concrete floor with just carpet over it,
Wow. Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, man." He goes, "It's not for everybody." And I said, "You got one in the back?" He goes, "Yeah, there's a new one in the back." I said, "Go get that one. I want that one."
There you go. I love it.
And he goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to learn to ride this fucking thing."
Yep.
And off I went. And so I took my new terrible idea purchase and a set of trekking poles that I use for when I hike. And I stood on that stupid board with those trekking poles. And for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, I went about 2 feet at a time and fell. because I was learning to walk again at the same time that I was learning to ride. So the trekking poles are what was helping me walk. And now I went from, I shouldn't even be out of a wheelchair, to I'm standing on a one wheel and I'm falling a lot. So then I thought maybe I should get some pads. So then like 3 weeks later, I got pads after I broke like an elbow, and I broke some ribs I took a big digger on a trail in delirium. Like
I love how, dude, I love how you're just like, yeah, I figured I'd pad up after I broke a rib or two, maybe an elbow, nothing big.
Yeah, I spent Christmas with 2 broken ribs, and I didn't tell anybody. Like, who gives a shit, dude? It's a couple ribs.
Oh, this guy kills me. I love it, dude. All right, so you're riding and you figured it. I mean, you figured it out. How long did it take? How many miles until you figured it out without the trekking poles?
You know, when I rode with Justin Thompson the first time in Asheville in January or February, that was about when I was comfortable.
Okay.
So it was 2 or 3 months before I was comfortable to ride with somebody. Actually, when I rode with Eric Schmidt in February was the first time that I felt like I'm not going to get killed by traffic.
Yeah.
Or that I'm not going to die by hitting a little bump on the sidewalk. Like I could actually cruise, relax, and enjoy.
And can you correct if somebody cuts you off? I mean, can you quickly react?
Yeah, like, you know, I've adjusted. I do everything with my hips now.
Yeah.
So all my balance is in my hips and my knees. Like I can move my knees, it's below the knees, and I'm paralyzed.
Okay.
So
anybody out there that's saying they can't do it, like this is too hard, this looks too hard, you're crazy. Get out of here. I mean, come on.
Hey, you don't want my answer on that.
I do. Give it to me without the R word. Go ahead, full on. What do you got?
Dude, don't be a fucking pussy about life, man.
I agree.
Dude, be bold. Everyone's got something to bitch about in life, dude. Nobody pushes themselves. Everyone wants to bitch, and wants this, and wants that, and wants this. Well, fucking earn it, man. You want to learn how to ride the board, earn it.
It's not easy. It's anything rewarding isn't easy at first, right?
That's it, dude. You want somebody to, like, you know, I've been fortunate enough that guys have sent me things, like, you know, a sponsor, if you will. They just think what I'm doing is cool, so they sent me something. And people are like, oh man, I wish I would get something. Well, I'm not out doing my thing to get free shit. I'm out doing my thing. And because I'm doing my thing, people are like, that's cool. I want to pay it forward. I'm paying it forward. So you get something paid forward to you, and then you pay for it again. Okay. And that's what makes this community so great is I don't have a lot to give the community. I wasn't a skateboarder. I wasn't a superstar athlete. I could have played a little college baseball if I wanted. Like if I would have forced it, I could have played a little college ball.
What position did you play? Hold on. Oh, I was gonna say third base, center field.
No, bro, I'm left-handed.
Oh no, maybe first base then, huh? Ah,
too short. I'm 5'9".
Oh, it's awesome.
So I had wheels, man. I used to run, dude. I could run, but now I can barely walk.
Well, let's do this. I love it. I'm going to take Caleb. What we'll do is we're going to take a quick break. And instead of playing music, what I would like to do for the break is play something for you guys that was sent to me from Chris Richardson. So when I go to this break, Caleb, just do your best to just be quiet on the other end because you're on the same fader. But what I want to show you guys is, as our break, I'm going to show a video, which is we're talking about challenges and challenging yourself, right? That's the whole thing. Yep. You want to make sure that you're able to push yourself, but stay safe while you're doing it. All right, well, let's start throwing some challenges out there. I want to start doing a weekly challenge on this show, and if you would like to participate, we're going to pick a winner of the video submissions underneath the thread. So I started a group on Facebook. Go on to Facebook, search for the group Weekly One Wheel Challenges, and you will see pinned up at the top is my boy Chris Richardson, who just sent this to me a day or two ago, and we're going to throw this out as the first challenge. So all you have to do is go on to that Facebook page, that group. It's a public group. It's open. Join if you like. And I would like to see you post yourself doing or trying to do. You don't have to have it perfect. Just try to get your best version of what he's about to show you, which is not simple. This is not simple. I can't even do it. I tried. I'm close. Let's have Chris show us himself about the Precision 180s.
Hey, Luch, I think your Quad 180 challenge was a hit, and so it inspired me to take it to the next level. So anybody want to try this out? This is Precision Quad 180s. Try to do all 4 directions without your tire leaving the line. So something like that. My tire may have lift the line a little bit. I'm not sure, but that's just a good way to take it to the next level. That way you're making sure you're getting completely 180 and you're able to do it with a little bit more precision. So see how that works out.
That is not easy, folks. Good luck. That is your weekly challenge. And this week's challenge comes again from Chris Richardson. It's tough, folks. That is not easy to do. I went out there and I tried it on one line, just trying to get it. You saw, I think the second one of his, he got off of it just a little hair. But I love what he's doing, trying to show us some new moves and trying to get us to push ourselves. So, you know, Caleb, have you gotten a 180 down yet? Have you been working on those at all?
Yeah, dude, I fall all the time.
If you fall all the time, have you gotten a 180? Have you pulled off a 180 yet?
Fall?
Oh, when
yeah,
you fall.
Yeah, dude, I 180 and fall on my face all the time.
The 180 Superman.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video. I was too busy doing my own thing.
Right.
You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah.
I was trying to explain pointy-eared dogs. Somebody thought I was talking about cropping a dog's ears.
Oh, no.
Which I don't advocate that. I can't read that small, but whatever your name is, we don't crop dogs' ears. Pointy-eared dogs is a term loosely used for your classic police dog, which is your Belgian Malinois and your German Shepherd. That's what I mean when I say pointy-eared dog. The other detection, because this isn't the detection world. The other dog are floppy-eared dogs. That's your Labrador. That's your German wired hair. That's those dogs. So when I say pointy-ear, I mean shepherding dogs versus floppy-ear. Okay, so anyway, back to one minute.
From the social media lounge, I would like to buy this dude a beer or 8 and listen to his After Dark stories.
I'm not gonna lie, After Dark stories are good.
I can't wait to hear it. Hopefully, if you do make it to Float Life Fest, and if not, we'll just see you some other time.
I'm coming.
You'll get there. Come on, we need you.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna fly out. I'm not gonna drive. I'm gonna fly out. I'm just gonna miss a couple days of hunting season. So you guys are too important to me. This community is too important to me. This community's been everything in this last year. If it honestly wasn't for this community, I wouldn't have been in the position I'm at now, where I'm working on. We're introducing law we're introducing law now to put dogs in the schools. Like that's like my project now. Wow. That's what I'm doing in Washington is I'm working with legislators to put firearm detection dogs in the schools. So being retired, I have the ability to use my time. So I'm using it wisely, and I'm doing what I can with what I know.
And I'll tell you right now,
it's protecting people.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. And that's protecting people.
Yeah, fiscal security. What I know is security. That's it. It's bred into me. It's all I've ever done in my life is security, and it's lethal security. So coming down off of that is different, but it's the same basic principles. So I lost myself, but that's what I'm doing now. Is we're legislating, trying to get dogs into schools. We've got several startup companies. I've got a network of about 50 canine handlers that are all combat veterans that I've vetted every single one of them, that are out of work, that are looking for jobs, that are certified canine handlers, ready to go to work, ready to put these dogs in the schools, and we're ready to do it now. All we need is these schools, these states, the stupid government to say, yes, we can do this. We can solve this school shooting problem. We can mitigate this school shooting problem with one tool, and that tool is a certified canine team. And that certified canine team can search every single bag that comes in and out of that school every single day before it enters the school. That certified canine team is not only that, it's a deterrent. When you see a pointy-eared dog walking around school and you're a 16-year-old kid, you don't know if that dog's looking for guns, that dog's looking for drugs.
Caleb, I'm 34 years old. I went to the airport coming home from LA. They walked me around. They forced everybody around a square with a dog that was able to walk that square and sniff your bag.
It's intimidating.
It's intimidating AF, dude. I don't have anything in my bag, and I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you're right.
I'm 100% right. For once in my life, I'm correct.
He's like, I know. But
yeah.
So look, man, as much as this community is given to you, I'm telling you right now, you're giving it back in tenfold. So we really just say thank you. And as much as I'm curious to actually pick your brain more about what you're talking about with these schools, I wanted to shout out the guys from Denver, and I want to get to your amazing Pay It Forward story. We've only got 10 minutes left.
Denver was big.
Denver was big. Dude, it was Jonathan Stock and Justin Duncan showed me just an amazing time. They housed me. Kind of just made me feel comfortable, got my mind right, make sure I was out there having fun. I got to borrow their boards. Justin's board, and it was really just fun to ride Ruby Hill, which is a lot of single track, and I don't do a lot of that. I am not very good at riding in a like this Chris Richardson 180 challenge is going to be good for me because I'm used to like carve. I'm not used to doing things in a very precise small area, right?
That trough. I mean, that mountain bike trail's a trough, and it sucks you into it.
It is, dude. And Ruby Hill, it is.
Into it.
And Caleb, there are some points where if you fall left, you're going down the hill. Like there's nowhere to miss.
The ground's right there, though. Like, yeah, it's downhill, but I mean, you're only doing like 11. I mean, come on, man.
Exactly. You'll be fine, but it does kind of creep into your head. It's just like, well, I gotta like pay attention here. Anyway, I had a blast with these guys. And I know you were you out? Do you have a story? Something about with? I know it's a good story, but how does it relate to Denver?
Well, so
just tell us what happened, man. This is unbelievable, and thank you for all of you who have made it this far throughout the show. We're gonna wrap it up here because I think this is worth telling. We've got 9 minutes. Take it away, dude.
Okay, so yeah, this will fill it. So on a fluke, I went to Denver. I've been talking to John a little bit, Jonathan Stock, and he goes, "If you're ever through Denver, stop in." And we were in Iowa, and I'm looking on the internet for shit to do between Iowa and Washington, and a band come up that I'm a big fan of, Jason Boland and the Stragglers out of Oklahoma. You darn right, Texas country music out of Oklahoma. And anyway, I know a guy that knows their drummer, and I thought I need to go talk to this band about working dogs with them. So that's a different story. I'm heading off to Oklahoma in September to go work security for them anyway.
Awesome, man.
So it was a good trip to Denver all the way around. So anyway, I'm in Denver. I call Jonathan. I'm like, hey, let's go ride. So stand by. So we go. You're welcome. So we go ride. We meet up. I meet him. Super cool dude, laid back guy. I mean, we had a ball. We instantly hit off. Jonathan's a great guy. All the guys
anybody riding out in Denver, just hit him. I don't want to like blow him up, and now everybody's just hitting him up. But he's the nicest guy, and he's just so willing to make sure you have a good time while you're out there. I really want to say thank you to him.
Yeah, but the one thing you got to remember, Jonathan, is unlike me, he's got a family. So when you are out there, you do have to realize that. Like with me, like he's like, I got family shit. I'm like, cool, man. Like you got to realize, like a lot of these people, especially during the week when they host you, like us that travel, we have to be cognizant that they have lives outside of us outside of family. We have to respect that. And
they don't have to house you. They're going outside of their realm of comfort just to say, hey, be comfortable. So let's make sure we recognize they have their own lives that they have to deal with too.
Yes. So we get to Denver. I meet up with John. Then we go ride around town a little bit. Which Denver is a wild place to ride. It's chaos. Denver is chaos.
Way too many homeless people.
You were there like 3 days before I was.
Dude, way too many homeless people. I can't believe how many there were there. It was unbelievable.
It's chaos. Nobody knows how to drive. Nope. There's people everywhere.
People are smoking blunts while they're driving. I saw 3 of them.
Oh yeah. I mean, so we go to Ruby Hill Park, and Jonathan's talking about this guy that you guys had met up at Ruby Hill Park, and he's gonna remain nameless. Sure. It's a gentleman that's up that way that has some pull in that area at the park. Okay, and we're talking to him, and Jonathan's like, this guy's cool, man. He's battling leukemia. He's a cool dude. He lets us ride up here. He tells us where the outlets are.
I'm just now realizing who you. This is a really good story. Keep going, man. That's
what I'm talking. You met him.
I know who you're talking about. He can't drive because of he has seizures, and so he can't drive.
Yeah. So he had to sell his cars to pay for it. Well, his wife died last year, and his daughter died June 1st. And he's been battling chemo and this leukemia, and it sounds like he's having trouble getting to work because he's on a bicycle and he lives like a ways out. Yeah. And you've been in Denver, you know how it is to travel just across town. So they built him like this Huffy bicycle that's not bad for a Huffy, but it's still, I mean, that's not a road bike, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's good for your 14-year-old to run around the neighborhood on.
Right.
And he's talking about this, and this dude, he's got no one to talk to. So he's talking to Jonathan, and I'm just sitting there. And this dude breaks. I mean, he breaks, and he's just spilling his guts. And I'm crying, I'm sitting there, I'm crying. I feel horrible for this guy. And I'm looking at me like, dude, I've got it going on. I've got a mobile house. I don't have to work. I'm healthy as a fucking nut. And this guy lost his wife. He lost his daughter. Most people don't deserve kids. And this dude is His heart is huge.
It's massive. His body, it's
Massive.
bigger. It's bigger than the body that holds it. I can tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Dude, he's such a cool guy. And he broke, dude. And I'm just like, holy shit. And he goes, all I have left is work. And when he said that, it just hit me. I've been dragging around these fucking scooters for 40,000 miles behind my fifth wheel on another trailer. I'm 67 feet long going down the road.
Oh my God.
Between my truck, my trailer, and my second trailer. I'm larger than a big rig. The whole time I've been bitching at my wife, when we get home, I'm done with these. I'm going back to a supermoto. I want to shift gears again.
Yeah.
Now that you can get electronic shifter for your handlebars, because I can't move my feet.
Right.
I want to ride wheelies down the freeway again. I mean, I'm not done living.
I love it.
And it just hit me. I'm like, my mom gave me this scooter as a wedding present last year. The wedding gift was, her gift was $2,000 for my wedding. She goes, how do you want it? And I said, I really want one of them little scooters like you guys got. Well, she just bought it. She gave it to me. She said, here, I'll go buy one that matches her husband's.
Which is not 2,000. It's more than that, I would imagine. A little bit.
Hers was more than that. Yeah. So mine was $2,500. I gave her $500 cash and then the present,
That's awesome.
And I rode it for a year, and it gave me the freedom I needed until I found the one wheel. Well, now it's time to pass that freedom on to somebody else. So yeah, there's an investment into this vehicle, but it's an emotional investment.
Sure.
The financial investment that anyone puts in this particular vehicle is worthless because it's been passed down through caring. It's because somebody cares. My mom gave it to me because she wanted me to be able to get around. So I'm going to give it to somebody so they can get around.
So you just unclip it from his truck and from your truck and just give it to him?
I had the title in my safe in the trailer. I travel with my house. So I travel in a mobile suites, the RV fifth wheel, a luxury fifth wheel. I'm very blessed.
Wow.
It's a very high-end fifth wheel. I sold my house to buy it, if that tells you anything. And I had a lot of equity in my house.
Right. It ain't cheap.
It ain't cheap. But I had the title there, and I had the scooter on the trailer at the campground. And I said, sir, we'll just leave his name as that. When we come back, I said, I'll bring the title and the bike. So when we went back Saturday for our group ride, I brought everything. I brought both my trailers, my truck, because we were leaving to come to Washington. And we met up with it was me, Justin Thompson from SRS. Yeah, I'm spitting.
I know. I just love it, man. I'm a baseball guy
it's
too.
A podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's 9 in the morning. I haven't had breakfast.
Yep.
I got something.
You're good.
So a couple of guys, John was there, Justin was there. I gave the guy the scooter. His employer was nice enough to let him store it at their shop. It needs an ignition switch because I broke the ignition switch.
Oh, man.
He texted me. I told him his responsibility is to pay for that ignition switch. It was $31. He texted me yesterday. He ordered it. He's super excited. I said, all you have to pay is $31. I'll pay for everything else. Just buy that one part because I already bought it once and I don't want to buy it again.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's principle. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, he's got it now and I'm sure is incredibly grateful. And I mean, just wrap that up, dude. Just let the people know like why how does that make you feel? It's got to make, I know you didn't do it to feel better about yourself, but you've got to feel good helping somebody else in that fashion.
Yeah, I know. The thing is, I know what it's like to live in the suck. Like, I know what it's like to not be mobile. I was in a wheelchair for months. I had a catheter for 7 months. For 7 months, I pissed my pants around my catheter.
Right.
I know what it's like to suffer. I had tubes in my kidneys for 7 months.
So maybe just give me. I got 30 seconds with the people. Maybe just give us a little quick message to how that we can look at our lives in a different perspective today.
Dude, just step back, look at what you have, even if you have nothing, and realize how lucky you have it. Because we don't understand what those folks around us are. You don't know what the person next to you is going through. You have no idea. If I put pants on, I look normal. You don't know what people are going through. The guy that we talked to, he looks normal except for his skin's a touch yellow because of the chemo.
Sure.
Other than that, you would have no idea. Mm-hmm. Adam, you know what I'm talking about. So you don't know what's going on next to somebody. There's a human inside of every single person, regardless of where they stand, on what side of the fence, left, right, or in between. There's a human in there, and we need to remember that these humans are just like us, and they need the same things we need. And those things are stuff that we can all provide. And I don't mean that we should get shit for free and we should do nothing about it. I think we should earn our asses off. That way everyone around us benefits from it. And that's what I've done with my life. I've spent my life investing in myself, my company, and what I'm doing. And now I'm in a position in my life in my mid-30s where I can give away almost everything and be comfortable. It's just come full circle. And all that takes is looking outside of yourself. There's the world's bigger than you. You're a nothing, you're a nobody. And that's what people need to remember, is people think that they're all high and mighty and they deserve shit. They don't. They don't. You need to remember that there's people out there that need stuff, and those are the people we should be helping.
Well, that's about as good as I could put it. In fact, way better. Caleb Catron, thank you for your service. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your honesty and your ability to just connect with, I'm sure, a whole lot of people who are listening. I haven't had a chance to peek into the social media lounge too much today, but there's a lot of good comments coming through. Thank you to all of you for all of the nice things you're saying in there. Caleb, they love you, dude, and there's no reason they shouldn't. Tell us your business so that we can make sure we all find that in case we need it.
All right, my nonprofit I work for is Project Canine Hero. We pay for the aftercare of police and military working dogs. Once they are retired, the departments no longer cover the medical bills, and these dogs are retired because of medical reasons. Therefore, our nonprofit steps up. We pay for the aftercare to keep these dogs comfortable in their retirement. My business is Canine Kustar Solutions, or Canine Kustar. We're based out of Washington State, and we do protection, detection, tracking, training, and obedience. I can do everything from training your dog to making your dog bite somebody.
Which you'd never want to do unless it's a security dog. Hey, you never know. Dude,
these are I can train security dogs.
You're the best. We'll dude. Where can people find you? Is there a website? Is there a handle?
We're just getting my company off the ground. We've been concentrating on the nonprofit because that's more important. But my company is Canine Kustar. You can find, or Kustar Canine. You can find it on Facebook right now. You can contact me directly on Facebook. I'm literally at the computer with the Department of Revenue right now, starting my business license, getting my business license.
Caleb Catron, thank you, sir. You have been an absolute ray of light on today's show. I've had a blast with you. Thank you, buddy. It's been wonderful. Thank you to all of you who have been listening. Warm round of applause for him. He did an awesome job. We will see you guys on Tuesday again next week. And of course, we've got Luch Dog in the morning tomorrow. I will do a little electric unicycle talk tomorrow because I wanted to keep it away from this by request from some wonderful, loyal listeners. So if you're curious about my thoughts on the electric unicycle, the Gotway Tesla 16-inch, I'll talk about that for about 5 minutes tomorrow on the show. Thank you to everybody who's joined us. We missed you, Belly. We'll have him back tomorrow morning. He gets back in town, baby. The crew is back. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week on The Voice of One Way.